Hey guys, Bix Weir, roadtoruta.com. I'm in my car, sit and wait mode for my son. He's dancing at a church this morning. Yeah, he's a good dancer. Anyway, I got a couple minutes here. I wanted to talk about something that I read on Zero Hedge this morning that is quite disturbing. Two things, actually. The first is that the French elections apparently are getting absolutely screwed up. Le Pen is getting basically shut out. All the overseas ballots were double sent, so they can vote twice if you're overseas, and apparently all the overseas people don't want Le Pen in there. So the rig is on, my friends. The battles continue. You know, I've said that the good guys have won. I would say the good guys have won in the United States. They haven't won everywhere yet. They've won in Britain. They haven't won in Europe yet. The EU still controls that chunk of humanity, and I pray for them on this Easter Sunday, because they are in deep trouble. And if you live in Europe, fight the best you can to get rid of these criminals, because they are willing to take you down, even if they have to take the whole ship down with them. So yeah, it's very sad what's going on in France. I don't know. It gets down to now who has the power of the electronic voting ballot. Are the good guys in the European election system, the French election system, such that they can right this wrong of all these ballots going out to people, extra ballots going out to people who aren't going to vote for Le Pen. It was close enough already, so she might be screwed. Also, the attempted missile launch in North Korea that exploded at the launch pad. Word is that it was a cyber hack by the U.S. We could do it. You know, we've talked about this. The Vault 7 revelations from WikiLeaks said very clearly that the United States has embedded software in almost every computer-controlled system, including probably half of the computer-controlled systems that were used in this launch in North Korea. And it's not just the United States made. If you remember, China bought provided on a card. China bought IBM, which is really interesting, because IBM created most of the embedded software in the like cars and power plants, and you know, most of the software in the early days. And that's when the guy from the Road to Ruta comics, this guy Stephen DeVoe, went to work for a division of IBM. That's all they did is work on software for embedded components within machinery, CNC machines, computer controlled, computer numerated control, something like that. Whatever CNC stands for. That's more on the milling and the machine tools end. But almost everything has software programs inside it these days, including my car that I'm sitting in. So they are recording even outside of my phone, which they also have computer software in that they can spy on me. They're also recording in my car through the radio probably, and they might shut off my car at any minute. We'll see what happens. I think a real interesting thing was when Vladimir Putin's car, his favorite driver, was driving on the road, and there's video of this, and you can look up the death of Putin's driver. His favorite driver was driving along a two-lane freeway, or I think 2 lanes on each side, driving along, and all of a sudden he's on the center lane, just turns. The car just turns into the oncoming traffic, and he dies. Was that a takeout via computer-controlled takeover of the operation of that vehicle? I don't know. But they can do it. I do know that. And the Vault 7 stuff made it very clear that they can do it. So I don't know. It's crazy days out there. But the key, I think, for all of us is to maintain faith. Faith that the good guys are taking out the bad guys. We knew it wasn't going to be easy. I hope it won't go to war. But it might go to war, and it is a war worth fighting against the bad guys to take them out. It would be a very bizarre war, especially in the United States, because we won't know who the enemy is, really. We'll think we're fighting against the government, but there's two sides of the government. There's the deep state, the bad guys, and then there's within the deep state, there's good guys and bad guys within that. That's what really the good guys and bad guys are. They're part of the deep state. And there are, if you listen to Catherine Austin Fitz's latest interview with, oh God, it was a more along the lines of talking about the secret space program, how they get their funding. And Catherine Austin Fitz is brilliant, and she's not afraid to talk about the truth within our government, that there is two sets of books being held, one for the people where we pay all the taxes, and the other for the trillions and hundreds of trillions of dollars that goes into the secret space program and the deep projects and things like that. Because, you know, the things I see flying around in the sky with my night vision goggles did not come free. If they are human-made, they came at a cost, and that cost was probably what we pay our taxes for. And all the, you know, the $500 for a hammer on the government contract, all that money stashed away somewhere, and it is coming out in the open. There's so many great technologies that can save us from what many people see as probable doom for the human race right now, with everything falling apart. You know, how do we get out of it? How do we get out of, you know, whether or not global warming is real or not? We need better ways to make electricity and to power and to make power. And there are so many different ways. Pulling out hydrogen from water, from H2O, and, you know, leaving oxygen. We've had the ability to do that, I've heard, for 50 years, but all these secret patents that the government claims you're not allowed to see because of national security issues. That's a national security issue. Kind of like the all the gold in the Grand Canyon. And the gold at Chocolate Mountain is real interesting. Yeah, I'm writing a book on the gold in the Grand Canyon. I've got tons of evidence. Not to mention a front page announcement of the gold in 1912 in the New York Times. Very specific. Although I think there was a little mischief going on there, because the creation of the Federal Reserve is coincident with the announcement of that, right after the announcement of that gold being found, and the subsequent shutting off that area of the Grand Canyon. The Federal Reserve was created, and Woodrow Wilson was not a fan of the banks at all. So it's pretty clear that something else was going on in the background when the Federal Reserve was created in 1913. And I'm dealing with that in the book, and some interesting lawsuits that I've found from way back then. And it's going to be a good book. I don't know when I'm going to finish it, truthfully. I've been so busy lately. This YouTube thing's just crazy. I need to slow that down and get back to writing. And I know all my old timers have said, "Biggs, you need to write more." It's just the kids who watch the YouTube. Of course, they watch the YouTube as well. And the best thing I like about YouTube is that you can travel with it. If you're commuting to work, you stick your headset in, earphones in, and you can go about your day and go about your business. And you have to stop and read. Pros and cons, I know, but I will be writing this book, and I think another big exciting thing on the gold front is the gold at Chocolate Mountain that Dianne Feinstein was in charge of hiding for the United States. That's a huge gold find, the largest gold find, second largest, probably behind the Grand Canyon gold, was the gold at Chocolate Mountain. And Chocolate Mountain was two parts. There was a gold mine on this side, and then there was a military base here, and it was like a bombing area where the U.S. military was used as practicing dropping bombs. That's why you're not allowed to go in there. So whether or not that's real or not is kind of unknown. But the gold mine right next to it was absolutely real, and that was shut down, and the whole area was turned into a natural wildlife preserve. You know, the spotted lizard or something ridiculous like that. Dianne Feinstein has literally cordoned off a huge swath of Southern California in the richest gold area on planet Earth, and it's all desert wildlife natural preserve now, and you're not allowed to mine in it, you're not allowed to hike in it, you can't do anything in it. And it's interesting because 41% of California is owned by the federal government now, and California is very rich in gold. So all this will be coming out over time, and you know, if we do have to go back onto a gold standard, I think there's plenty of gold. There's mountains of gold. There's very little silver. Very little silver. If you have any gold, physical gold, or gold in an ETF, which is ridiculous, but if you have physical gold, swap it. You can get 70 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of gold, and they're going to announce that there's millions of tons of gold when this whole thing shakes out. Not just the 180,000 tons, 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools that Jeffrey Christian will tell you. No, it's millions of tons of gold. Gold will still go up in price a little, I think. That's the fault of the U.S. dollar and the even more trillions of those. But if you're looking to invest and preserve wealth or make money, sell every ounce of gold you have and get 70 ounces of physical silver for it. Insane. Right now, you're a brilliant... If you're a gold investor and you have gold in your pocket or in your portfolio, you are a brilliant man, woman, or child, because you can... If you do this, if you sell it all right now and you buy as much physical silver as possible, because you've done well. You know, gold has gone up well above its 1980 highs, whereas silver is a fraction of its 1980 highs. So you are brilliant if you invest in gold. If you sell it right now and with all that money buy as much physical silver as you can get your hand on. 1 ounce of gold gets you 70 ounces of physical silver. That you will be seen as the god amongst silver and gold investors too, if you make that swap right now when the ratio is at 70-1. Anyway, make the swap. Swap your gold for silver, 70 ounces. Bix Weir, roadtoroota.com. I'll talk to you later.